Gerald Maxwell Rivera, better known by his stage name Maxwell, was born May 23, 1973 in Brooklyn, New York. He grew up in a single-parent home on welfare, raised by his mother, with the assistance of his grandmother. Maxwell's father died in a plane crash when Max was only 3 years old. He said that the tragic loss of his father is one of the reasons he is deeply religious. There isn't really any information in regards to the background of Max's parents, other than his mother being Haitian and his father Puerto Rican. Trust me, I searched and couldn't find anything. Maxwell is a very private person. He said that he focuses on professionalism. You will get real-life experiences through his music, but that's just about it. He doesn't really put his personal life out there, something that is so hard for many to do that are in the public eye. However, for over 20 years, Max has managed to do so. Let's talk about his journey that led to who he is today. Max began composing music after receiving a Casio keyboard from a friend. From that day forward, he taught himself how to play a variety of instruments. Max experienced ridicule from classmates for being shy and awkward, but despite that fact, he still managed to progress and continue to develop his musical abilities. In 1991, Maxwell started performing in clubs. Shortly after, he gained access to a recording studio, where he started recording songs for a demo tape, which was passed around among his friends. It took no time for his demo to start getting attention. Max had his first concert performance at Manhattan Club Nels, which turned out to be a success. Over the course of 2 years, Maxwell wrote and recorded over 300 songs, and played frequently at small venues throughout New York City. As time progressed, Max's performances continued to draw attention, leaving the crowd excited and wanting more. A writer from Vibe magazine called him the next Prince after attending one of his shows. Due to Max's reputation growing rapidly, he caught the attention of Columbia Records and signed a record deal in 1994. Between 1994 and 1995, Max recorded his debut album, Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite. The album was completed in 1995 and presented to Columbia Records in the spring of that same year. However, Max's first album was shelved for nearly a year due to issues with Columbia's management, the label's extensive reorganization, and record executives' doubts of the album's commercial potential. Though initially, Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite was slow to obtain commercial interest, the album finally made its chart debut, at 38 on R&B Hip-Hop Albums Chart, April 20, 1996. Between August and October of 1996, Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite experienced chart growth, reaching number 8 on the top R&B hip-hop albums, and 36 on Billboard 200. Later the album was ranked as one of the year's top 10 albums, by Time, Rolling Stone, and USA Today. To be honest, I feel a lot of people slept on Max's music at the beginning, but after people woke up and really listened to his music, they were blown away. 4 singles were released from his first album, Till the Cops Come Knockin', Somethin' Somethin', Ascension, Don't Ever Wonder, and Sweet Lady, The Proposal Jam. All 4 singles were a huge success. What stood out to me, and what I feel was amazing, is when Maxwell performed live on one of the episodes of MTV Unplugged. The entire performance was amazing, but there were 2 songs that stood out the most to me, Whenever, Wherever, Whatever, and This Woman's Work, a song Max covered by Kate Bush. He did such an amazing job on those 2 songs. Best live performance I've ever seen. Between 1998 and 2002, Maxwell released Embrya and Now. Embrya was released on June 30, 1998. This is another album that I feel people slept on when it was first released. I get it, it was very different from the style everyone began to love from his first album, Urban Hang Suite. That was the style of music people were looking for. When Max put out something totally different, no doubt many were disappointed. Me personally, I love diversity, so I keep an open mind to different music. good music is good music to me. When I heard Embrya for the first time, I fell in love with it. Max is a very talented man. Everything he touches, he breathed life into it. In a retrospective review for AllMusic, Stephen Thomas Erlewine wrote that Maxwell overstuffs his songs with ideas that lead nowhere, and called Embrya a bit of a sophomore stumble, albeit one with promising moments. Ariane Berger wrote in the Rolling Stone album guide that he found the songs monotonous, and called the album unfocused and pretentious, full of overwrought, underwritten songs, with obscure, fancy titles revolving around a sort of erotic Gnosticism. Since then, critics have re-evaluated Embrya, and now view it as a groundbreaking forerunner to later trends on alternative R&B, and Columbia Records reissued the album in 2018 on its 20th anniversary. Despite the negative press, Embrya sold more than 1 million copies and garnered Maxwell a new alternative fanbase. In 1997, it was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best R&B Album. May 26, 1999, the album went platinum. August 14, 2001, Maxwell's third album was released. Maxwell said he felt more comfortable with his artistic direction in the creation of his album, titled Now, which does not exhibit his previous style. Once again, despite some criticism towards Maxwell's songwriting, the album sold over 296,000 copies in the US in the first week, earning him his first ever #1 album. Now was Maxwell's last release before he took a 8-year hiatus from performing. Max says that he stays away as long as he do, because he always want to remember the guy that was riding the train, going to high school, remembering that he wanted to be something more than where he came from. He said, sometimes it is easy to get lost in the glitz and the glamour, that you forget that there will always be a new guy or girl right after you, that will be brand new, just like you were brand new. Max didn't want to get so caught up to where he forget that fact. He said, sometimes he can't believe that this is his life. He likes to live a separate, regular life from all the fame. In his free time, he likes to watch shows like Comedy Central and things like ride his bike in the street. He said that he just loved to do regular things. Max is not the flashy type. He's not too big on having the latest cars, shoes, or watches. You will never hear of him speaking of such material things in his music. Max says that he always tries to stick to the basics when creating his music, such as heartbreak, pain, betrayal, wanting to get somebody back for hurting you, not feeling like you are good enough. Things that we will always feel, no matter if we have material things, such as the latest watch, cars, or shoes. Max is a very humble guy. I like how he gives other artists their props, like D'Angelo. When Maxwell was told that people always gives him credit for creating neosoul, I like the fact that he took the focus off himself and gave credit to D'Angelo.
How do you feel about the term neo-soul? Because people always give you credit for being the start of that.
I can't say that because D'Angelo was released in '95. I have to admit, with great respect to him, that when he was set off, it really made everybody at the label really understand. Because I was already done with my album. I was just sitting on the sidelines. I was on the bench, just looking at everybody like blow up and have their songs on the radio. It was really, really depressing time for me. But there were people in the label like CJ and this whole small little group that were like, yo, we have something like this. And they were just working their way up to, the guys who were like the presidents at the time. So, I give credit to D for being the person to sort of really get my record off the shelf.
Right.
I like something Maxwell said about the type of women he focuses on in an interview with The Breakfast Club. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Well, look, I just think everything is beautiful, and the weirdest thing for me is like when I look out into the audience, because there'd be bad ones out there, but they're the one that is the shyest, the one that maybe feels like, I need to lose a few here, lose a few there. that's usually the one I focus right on because I feel like
Swell.
I just want to make I just want to make them feel good.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, that's my job on stage. I just want to make you feel good, and everyone's gorgeous, everyone's sexy.
You ladies heard him, such a humble guy. I like that he says he wants to make the ladies feel good about themselves. I will always be a fan of Maxwell. I love the fact that Max stayed true to his craft and continued to make the type of music he felt from his heart, instead of trying to keep up with what everyone else was doing. Though a lot of people slept on his music at first, people are now woke, and he is loved by so many. If people would just embrace change and focus on the art, then they can recognize good music. To me, every album is a masterpiece. Max's music is timeless and can be enjoyed by all people, not just one particular audience, and to me that makes him a genius. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.